We're here in the showroom of Bassett Furniture with Monique. Welcome.
Thank you.
And today we're talking a little bit about furnishing a room and some of the tips to get started.
That's right.
So what's the first thing we need to be thinking about?
Most important thing, we've got to think about the space. What function is the room going to be? How many people do you want to be able to sit in the room? And then measuring out the room to be sure we put the right size of furniture in there for you and we leave enough space for people to walk. You have enough lighting so you can actually read in the room.
Right.
So just thinking about that space planning is number one.
So the size is going to impact the space. You can't have things too big. So are there any tips about how close to get to walls, how much walking space you need?
Yes, so you can get pretty close to walls with your furniture unless you're having reclining furniture. But the biggest thing is you want about 18 inches from that sofa to your cocktail table, so that way people can walk and sit down comfortably.
Right.
And then in that major traffic thoroughfare from the kitchen to the seat, you want to have about 3 feet.
Okay. Okay. And so just general lighting, you want to make sure, because we don't have a lot of overhead lighting now, so we want to have ample places to put lamps, etc.
Yes, so just having enough tables to be able to place a drink, put your popcorn bowl, and then having that lamp there so you can actually turn on that lamp and read and not just watch TV in that room. Just multifunction.
Great, great. Some great tips. So let's go to the design center and go talk about color and fabric.
Let's go.
Besides having a very large showroom with lots of vignettes of furniture, you also have a design center.
That's right.
And tell us a little bit about the design process that you have here.
Sure. Well, if you don't want to measure your own room or you're a little nervous about what pieces will fit, we're more than happy to come out to your home. And what we do is we do the measuring for you. We take pictures. We look at some pieces that you may want to keep, like this particular person wanted to use Grandma's chair.
Sure.
And then that way we can take it back, work on the color palette, and figure out what will fit. So space planning, like we mentioned, is really, really important. So what we do is we actually will put it on a plan for you to really give you the maximum seating that you need. We'll work with your paint colors you already have. And then one of the first things we do is we start to go and look at an area rug. Because an area rug helps create that conversation area. It also starts your color palette.
Okay, that's good.
So once you have an area rug picked out that you like the design of it, it has the colors that you like, then it's a lot easier to build on fabrics. There's only going to be 1 or 2 area rugs that you fall in love with, but there's a gazillion fabrics that you can choose from.
So the first thing that we're looking at, we're going to do the space. Then we're going to do the color. And then we're going to do the fabric. So what are some tips about the fabric? I mean, textures. How do people blend colors? How do you bring that in? And then also, I know, like you mentioned, like if you have old pieces, because you want to continue to use those pieces. How do you incorporate some of that?
Well, first of all, in picking out fabrics, it's really important that you understand or you let your designer know how you're going to be using it. If it's going to be fabric you're going to use every single day, you have kids, you have pets, you really need to decide, how long do I want this fabric to last? You know, do you want fabric or do you want leather? Because leather is a really good option for people who have a heavy traffic room. So understanding your fabric and then trusting your designer to pick out a fabric that's going to be durable and hold up. The color palette and deciding what colors to do and what to play off of, that's where your designer really comes into play, because they do look at your art you already have that you want to keep. They do look at Grandma's pieces that you want to keep. And our job then is to help you blend, picking out a good texture for your family, what's going to wear well, adding maybe a little bit of leather for that dad who wants to have his leather chair, and mix that up. And then finding a fabric that's going to correlate with whatever piece you're keeping.
And it's even possible, you said, to take something that maybe has a little bit more old-fashioned feel and make it more contemporary. How do you do that?
Well, that's a little tricky. But the nice thing is that in this day and age, we are not, everything has to match. You know, there's a lot more eclectic sense. And so Grandma's sewing machine that has a lot of meaning will look great as an accessory in a corner. You don't have to have everything old-fashioned just to fit in that sewing machine. You know, you can have an older tapestry chair and it can be sitting in its corner with a great floor lamp by it. And then your sofas can be a little bit more contemporary. you know, you can't go George Jetson contemporary with it necessarily, but you can mix those.
So for people that are interested in doing the design from their home, they want to be the armchair designer, you do have an option for that.
Absolutely. They can go to BassettFurniture.com and actually put in their dimensions. They can design their room, play with tables, play with chairs, and they can also pick out a sofa and put different fabrics on it and see what that's going to look like. So they really can do everything from home.
And when they're all finished, they can bring it back to you and take a look at it.
That's right.
All right, that's great. Well, thank you for all the tips. It's a lot of helpful advice. And for more information, you can go to fusionnw.com. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.